Well, holy that was absolutely brutal. The first terms that come to mind, a bloodbath, the red wedding, a bearish feast. In all reality, I don't care what you call it, but that was extremely painful. The Trump pump that turned into the Trump dump, and then the pump is apparently really a dump, and man, oh man, should you look out below. In this video, there's two major things I want to talk about. First of all, what in the world is going on, and why did the market get kicked in the balls today? And number two, probably more important, is why I think there's actually going to be more downside, and of course, I'm going to be calling out the key levels I'll personally be paying attention to. Now, very quickly, obviously, if you enjoy these type of market updates, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to say hey in the comments below, because all that type of engagement really helps me out, so I truly appreciate it. With that being said, let's rock. By the time the world's largest casino officially closed on the day, here's what they had to say. Dow tumbles more than 600 points, S&P 500 posts biggest loss since December as Trump says tariffs will proceed. And it's that final sentence right there of why we went down and down and down. It's all the tariff talk. It's all the trade war talk. Trump's latest tariff brinkmanship goes down to the wire. Canada, Mexico, and business leaders aren't sure what the president wants, and quote unquote, everything is possible, which basically means uncertainty is ripping through the roof, and it looks like it could get bad very quickly. Trump says no room left for Canada, Mexico to avoid tariffs, US to add 25% levies on Mexico products, most Canadian goods. Trump would also double the China levy, barring last-minute delay. And this will come as a surprise to absolutely none of you, but markets did not react well. Here's the heat map of the S&P 500, and it's pretty much a crime scene, pretty much exactly what we also saw in the options market. The delta of the S&P 500 complex, pretty good up until about 1245, absolutely started to vom that. We also saw that in the Mag 7, not good, and it even got into the world of crypto. Bitcoin tumbles 9%, reversing most of the rally from the Trump's crypto reserve announcement, which brings me to how today was so incredibly weird, because when the market opened, things were very, very green. Everyone woke up, the birds were chirping, we all had a renewed love for life, and it got bad, and it got bad real quick. From market open, the SPY puked, the Qs puked. We went from being so green in the overall market, the tech sector, even crypto. VIX was coming down a little bit, and man, oh man, could it just not catch a break today. And it's all because of the unknown nature of really the tariffs, which are the trade war, but they're calling it a drug war, but we all know it's a trade war, and we're just a lot in the in-between. Trump dashes hopes for last-minute Canada-Mexico deal ahead of the 25% tariffs. What you need to know here is the fact that there was a live press conference this afternoon, right when the market started to puke, and it related a little bit to TSMC, and I'll be covering that in a second. But of course, there was questions about the tariffs, and he basically said, hey, no, they are going to be going underway. Can't stop them now. Now, for those of you who are interested in more of the specific details, here's what the commander-in-chief had to say. President Donald Trump said that the U.S. will impose 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico tomorrow, Tuesday, March 4th, scrapping hopes of a last-minute deal that would avoid stoking a trade war in America's top trading partners. Trump said there was, quote-unquote, no room left to negotiate with the two U.S. allies. They're all set. They will go into effect tomorrow. So what does this really mean? Well, unless there's a last-second, late-night phone call, a Hail Mary play to come to some sort of agreement, things are going to get painful, and they're going to get painful pretty fast, because don't forget, the reciprocal tariffs go into effect at the start of April, and also between now and then, these other countries such as Canada, Mexico, China, the EU, and the UK, they might choose to strike back, and then Trump has already said, if they do, he's going even higher. I want to get into the levels that I think this could drop to, and really why I think it's going to drop, but first you should know some of the other things that happened today. It is kind of important. Trump and the chip maker TSMC expected to announce a $100 billion investment in the US. This came out of the same conversation where we heard about the tariffs anyway. Once again, it was in the exact same conversation. The Taiwan semi-manufacturing company intends to invest $100 billion in chip manufacturing plants in the US over the next 4 years under a plan expected to be announced later today. That's what we heard. More specifically, specifically, it's going to be benefiting the folks of Arizona. The investment would be used to build out cutting-edge chip-making facilities, such as an expansion would advance a long-pursued U.S. goal to regrow the domestic semiconductor industry after manufacturing fled largely to Asia countries in recent decades. So this entire news, I guess this particular narrative, is why the semiconductor industry was kind of shaky all day, even before the market really turned, and it didn't help that Nvidia had some of its own news. Nvidia's unofficial exports to China, which remember are a big no-no, face scrutiny after the arrest of silicon smugglers in Singapore. So before everything tilted because of the tariffs, this very important industry, the entire semiconductor industry, think of all the processing chips or the ETF, SMH, they were already not looking so good. And then when we got the tariff questions and the answers and the aggression in his voice, that's when things really started to dump. Now, I do want to remind you, when we get these types of crazy situations, I don't make any of these videos to be a person spreading doomsday talk or anything like that. In fact, this is a great opportunity to make money. I would actually argue it's easier to make money in these environments, the extreme sell-offs, than it is in what we all think we want as a bull market. And just to prove it to you, right here, okay, this is how much I made selling premium today, $540. I think that's good money. Like I know some people are going to do better. Some people are going to do worse than that. I'm happy with that. $540 for basically playing a game on the internet. But I want to remind you, in these environments, when the VIX is going up and volatility is getting crazy, that's not really when I want to end up selling premium. That's the time that your boy here is going to be going long premium, and I'm going to ride that expansion of volatility. So even though I made this trade today, in reality, I wasn't focusing on it that much because I was too busy crushing it by buying puts. Look at this. My 1 day return, $25,000. My 1 month return, $118,000. And if you look at the year to date, currently up around $93,000. Folks, I want to be clear here. These are all called out in real time, not only on the stream, but in the Discord. And just to kind of prove it to you, I also want to show you this right here. Here's my futures accounts. I have 20 different accounts, 3K each. So that's another 60K. So if you're wondering if I put my money where my mouth is when I'm talking about all this with all of you, you bet your bottom dollar I am. And most of the time, I'm actually degenerately betting on it. Once again, if you want my day trades, my swing trades, or even my future trades, you can get these all in the Goonie Trading Discord. The first month is absolutely free. Just make sure to use that code Goonie. And last but not least, arguably most important, let's talk about why I think there's going to be more pain to come. First of all, let's consider the political landscape and the fact that the market hates uncertainty. Yes, there is some sort of statistical chance that, as I referred to before, a Hail Mary play, a deal is struck and there's no tariffs and things bounce back. Yes, that could happen. But if we look at the trend of things, it seems like all of these elected politicians on a global level have a little bit of an ego issue, and I don't think that they're going to be coming to a resolution anytime soon. Eventually, I do believe that they're going to quote unquote bend the knee to Trump and give him exactly what he wants, because we have all the cards. We have the biggest economy, and no one else is really going to want to make him too angry because of what he could potentially do. But I don't think they're going to come to that realization in the short term. So yes, like I said, they could, but if we're just looking at the game of odds, And I also want to let you know that the market is not betting on a bounce. So here's what's so crazy about today. What I have on the screen is the SPY ETF tracking the overall market. And the first thing you're going to notice on this daily bar is it's referred to as a bearish engulfing candle, as in we opened above and actually were clearly above Friday's session high. And then we sold off so much that we actually went below Friday's session's low. Once again, that's a bearish engulfing candle. And if you look at any of the stats, facts, and figures related to these, well, generally bearish momentum begets more bearish momentum. So from a candle perspective, I want to explain all that. But really why I think we're going to keep going lower is what I'm seeing in the options market. You can see that the delta got destroyed today, not just on the S&P 500, but also on the Mag 7. Top left to bottom right type of action. And if you really do a deep dive into the levels that are being played, more specifically on SPX, that's around 5,800 flat. That is the popular level that people are targeting. And what's really weird about this is they were targeting it this morning when the market opened as if someone knew something. But anyway, let me take off my tinfoil conspiracy hat and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But anyway, 5,800. And if you want a SPY equivalent level about that, roughly that brings us to the realm of 579. Once again, 579, plus or minus a little bit because it's easier to read it directly on SPX. That is what I am looking for. Right now, not only do we have the uncertainty of the geopolitical setup, but the option structure is getting us ready for that. I am talking some serious negative gamma. So for my options traders, you know what that means, but the odds are better than not that we do go to that level. And if you're looking for something on the Qs, I'm really targeting this downside gap fill that we got created in early November of 2024, but I'm talking about 592.88. Those are my two downside levels that I'll be watching as early as tomorrow. And as we get there and we see the update in the option structure, obviously in the next update video, I'll let you know how things change. But as of Monday market close, this is exactly what I see going down. Obviously, if you have any questions, comments, concerns about these levels, about the Goonie Discord, or obviously using the best brokerage public, let me know in a comment below. But most importantly, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate the good vibes. I'll see you in the live stream tomorrow morning where you can see me degenerately trading. Remember, we do that every Monday to Friday, 9 to 11. Hope to see you there. And if not, I'll see you in the next update video.